Hello everyone, welcome to News Extra, and today my guest is Dr. Andrew Dick, who's the new administrator for ESU 13. Thank you very much for joining me today.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me, Scott.
3 months into the full-time position,
Yes.
taking over solo on your own. How have things been going?
Things have been going really, really well. I continue to be each and every day just fascinated, have my eyes opened, and very honored to serve in this role for ESU 13. You know, as a local native of Scottsbluff and somebody that's worked in public education in the Scottsbluff schools the last 15 years, I never truly realized or appreciated the multitude of services and programs offered by ESU 13. And so I'm very fortunate to be surrounded by some very talented, skilled, and professional staff that have helped in my transition to this new role.
Of course, you talked about the programs. There, like you said, there's a multitude of them that are offered through ESU 13, primarily because if each individual district had to try to offer these services, it would be next to impossible to be able to do so in an efficient manner, basically.
That's exactly right, Scott. For smaller schools to be able to replicate the types of services and programs that we can offer at ESU 13 would be impossible. By using the ESU 13, they're able to contract for services such as a speech and language pathologist, an occupational therapist, where they wouldn't be able to have the capacity within their budget to hire a full-time person, and the ESU 13 can employ them, and then they contract for the services they need, whether that be a half a day, 1 day a week, 2 days a week, or just on an hourly basis. The other thing that's unique is that ESU 13 can allow for the consorting, consolidating of dollars for different programs, whether that be in the area of migrant education, some of the title dollars, and then we can better utilize those resources when the school districts work together in that form and fashion.
Mm-hmm. And the districts, of course, generally speaking, the students that do avail themselves of those services, there's not necessarily a whole large number of them, but there are state requirements, state statutes, as well as regulations that do require the districts to offer those services, and that's where ESU 13 steps in.
Yes, and you know, special education is a big part of that with IDA, and school districts are required to provide the education and meet the needs of those students with disabilities in their school districts in ESU 13. And all ESUs across Nebraska can step in and meet that need. Another thing that makes us unique, and this is attributed to our geographic location, and it's seen in other services we provide in western Nebraska. With us being the major hub, the Scottsbluff-Gehring area for the western Nebraska, we are isolated in some services. There's programs and services that are specifically unique to ESU 13. Not every ESU across Nebraska has some of the programs that we offer, such as the Meridian, LifeLink, Vaults. We just partnered with probation to offer a new ecological in-home family treatment program, where we will be providing intensive family treatment to parents and their children that are involved in the probation system.
And of course, ESU 13, something that's always evolving as state statutes change and school district needs change. ESU 13 is there to step in and help out. We'll talk a little bit about the future of ESU 13 when we come back on News Extra. And we're back on News Extra, and I have Dr. Andrew Dick with me, who's the new administrator for ESU 13. Again, thank you very much for joining me.
Yes, thank you for having me.
You know, it's only been 3 months, initially solo, but you had a little bit of time before that with Dr. West, before he headed east.
Yep.
West heading east. What kind of information did you get from him? What kind of tips and recommendations did he make for you?
I was fortunate to be able to spend about 6 to 8 weeks with Dr. West before he headed to Pennsylvania. I was fortunate that Scottsbluff Public Schools allowed me about a day a week using my vacation time to make that transition, and so he provided me a tremendous amount of background knowledge about some of the norms, the traditions, and expectations and culture specific to ESU 13, and also how ESU 13 works in conjunction with the other ESUs across Nebraska to make up the ESU Coordinating Council. And so, again, very fortunate for that time, and we've continued to keep in touch, whether that be via email or phone, and so very much appreciative of the knowledge and guidance and mentorship provided to me by Dr. West.
Does it also help to have been a native of the area and aware of what ESU 13 has been doing over the course of time?
Yeah, I think that has helped in this transition as well. I've been fortunate to establish some relationships with administrators and superintendents across the ESU 13 service area prior to this position, and I think that's helped as we continue to build on those relationships and hopefully expand partnerships and continue that exemplary customer service and responsiveness to school district needs that ESU has prided itself in over the years.
So there are going to be some changes going forward. We do know that Scottsbluff Public Schools is going to be moving out of vaults here within a couple more years, basically handling their own, taking on those responsibilities themselves. What kind of futures does that necessarily mean for the rest of the districts and the program itself after they're out?
The principal of Vaults and I, George Slaughter, we've just started our conversations there. So we're just kind of in our early planning stages. I don't see this as anything that's going to be detrimental to the program. We see it as an opportunity to kind of reinvent ourselves and look for ways that we can maybe enhance or expand our offerings with Vaults. Some of our early discussions, things to consider, we've looked at are possibly opening the number of grade levels that we open that Vaults to. Currently it's juniors and seniors, maybe expanding that to include sophomores. There's some other things that we're looking at that maybe would expand the population base of students in there and widen the needs that students that may come to Vaults may have, and so we're just going to work through that with those districts that are partners of Vaults, and it's about 7 or 8 seats that we'll look to hopefully have other school districts pick up, or even possibly expand to school districts that aren't currently partners with Vaults, and it may be something that's a distance learning type opportunity for those school districts as well.
And you mentioned learning, of course. One of the things that ESU 13 is heavily involved in is professional learning services.
Yes, we have
under SOAR, as I understand.
Yep, SOAR. Our professional learning department is second to none. They provide outstanding service to our school districts. And this summer, as I made my way around to meet with the superintendents of the school districts, time and time again, I heard many compliments about the service they provide to schools. And as somebody that's worked in the school districts, I understand that not every school district has the capacity to have curriculum specialists and have people with the knowledge and the deep understanding of teaching and learning that our staff in that professional learning department can have. And so the numbers have shown how many teachers and students they have positively impacted over the years. And just in the 2018-2019 school year, they provided over 4,300 students meaningful learning experiences through our student events and activities. The professional learning department trained over 16,400 area educators through their various workshops and training. And that's all data that we track as we show the value of ESUs in the state of Nebraska.
Yeah, certainly not a small impact that the ESUs have throughout the state, and especially here in the Panhandle with ESU 13, because we have a smaller population base. It's more spread out as far as where the districts are located and the schools are located, and so being able to turn to ESU 13, something that's very important.
Yes.
That's Dr. Andrew Dick, who is the new administrator with ESU 13. Only 3 months into things, I can imagine that you're looking forward to making your own imprint in the position that you're holding.
Yeah, definitely. You know, it's not a place that I think needs a drastic change. You know, Dr. West was there for 11 years, and the organization's in a very good place. And really, my focus right now is on establishing relationships not only with the employees within the organization, but also with our member schools. Continuing to grasp a deeper understanding of the organization's culture, tradition, and history, and continuing to move forward and look for ways that we can expand on relationships, partnerships, and the services. We've got a strategic plan that was put into place last spring that the board approved, and we're going to focus our efforts on that, as there was a tremendous amount of thought and consideration put into that strategic plan.
Well, we're looking forward to talking with you a whole lot more in the future and seeing what the future brings for ESU 13.
Well, thank you very much, Scott. Appreciate the opportunity and look forward to additional opportunities to be here at KNEB.